You are looking live outside here at David E. Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Welcome to Royals TV on this cloudy Saturday night. It is the Guelph Royals taking on the Brantford Red Sox. Mark Pare alongside Josh Alderman here tonight. The main storylines to look at here tonight. First of all, these are two teams that are struggling, and I mean struggling. 5 losses in a row for both sides. The two of them are in the bottom of the IBL standings. Kitchener, by virtue of their 3-game winning streak this week, now have eclipsed Guelph for 7th in the IBL standings. So safe to say Guelph looking for the win here tonight. And we're going to go straight to the anthem. Stay with us. All right, welcome inside David E. Hastings Stadium in Guelph for Royals TV. Battle between the Red Sox and the Royals. As we were talking about before we went to our last break, 5 losses in a row for both of these sides. The Guelph Royals coming off a tough 3-0 loss to the Barrie Baycats just 48 hours ago, Josh. And in that one, well, it seems like it's either you're getting a whole lot of hits and a whole lot of runs, or Guelph just absolutely struggles. Just 3 hits in that game.
Yeah, very, very streaky team. 11-18 on the season. I mean, heading into tonight's contest, only 6-8 at home. I mean, and yeah, you look back at that Baycats game, that's one that they are going to want back. This team has been very streaky. Lots of highs, lots of lows, but absolutely no middle ground. They need to settle in if they want to be back in contention for a playoff spot.
Well, in that one there, it was a 3-0 loss. Before that, it was a 6-1 loss here on Tuesday against the Welland Jackfish. What did you see in that game that really kind of made the difference?
To me, it was the relief pitching not exactly backing things up. The bullpen wasn't quite there to help out. And to be fair, though, it's the Welland Jackfish. Utterly unstoppable, top-of-the-table team. They are...
Well, I mean, Kitchener can beat them.
You would know best, partner.
Well, we're getting the announcement of the starting lineup for the Guelph Royals. Let's take a look at the umpires for tonight's game. Don Michelle is in behind home plate. Alex Taccone is the first base umpire. She is the crew chief tonight. And Dana Case is over at third. Let's take a look at the weather conditions here for tonight's game. Again, a cloudy sky, 24 degrees. There was a little bit of precipitation in the forecast expected to come around this point in time, but it seems like the rain, knock on wood, has evaded us until later on tonight. So looks like it's perfect conditions here for some baseball here on this Saturday night.
Yeah, hopefully the rain that is forecasted for later on tonight holds off a little while longer. This one is slated to be a very interesting matchup. Two teams hungry for a win, hungry for a victory. They're going to keep the fun going all night long.
The Brantford Red Sox have won 2 of 3 against the Royals this season, and hitting is going to be key. One thing to note, the Guelph Royals have only hit 156 on this Brantford team in the season series. Safe to say that average has got to go way up.
I mean, couldn't have said it better myself. If they want to turn things around, especially against a struggling Brantford side, only 6-21 on the season. They're 9th place, a comfortable 22 games back of the league-leading Jackfish. This is the night. This is the turning point. Just crush Connor Irving right out of the gate. That's your go-to strategy if you really want to turn this game into a statement.
Well, for the Brantford Red Sox, they'll lead things off with Jacob Cantor, a recent addition to this squad. He is batting shortstop tonight. Ren Takioka is in behind him. Cassidy Watt is batting third. And how about this pickup in Jacob Cantor? You know, there's a reason why he's leading off. The guy's got speed to burn.
Yeah, had 37 stolen bases across 3 seasons with Ursinus in NCAA. Coming through to Brantford, a product of Philadelphia, just 22 years old. Of course, 1 game in his IBL career, 3 at-bats. The Red Sox last game had 2 hits, 1 walk as well. Putting him at the top of the lineup is setting the tempo early.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. First pitch, by the way, for those scoring at home, 7:34 Eastern. So glad he can join us here on this Saturday night. That's Brandon Deans on the hill here for the Guelph Royals. The delivery is going to be put out of play. And how about going to Deans here on a Saturday night, right before the All-Star Showdown in Hamilton tomorrow?
Deans has had a slow start to the season, posting up a 7.77 ERA across 9 games. Hoping to turn things around tonight as that one goes high for a ball. 1-2 the count.
1 ball, 2 strikes indeed, good sir. Jacob Cantor, the shortstop, looking to square up the 1-2. Swing and a miss, he got him. So Cantor goes down on strikes. Dean fans 1, and there's 1 down. And here comes one of those all-stars, Ren Takioka, one of 3 all-stars on this team for the Brantford Red Sox. Of course, Christian Ortega named a starter. Aiden Armitage is also a reserve as part of Team South.
Takioka, just 26 years old, the outfielder, heading into tonight's contest, batting .449. Not to mention 40 hits on the season, 10 ribeyes, and has flashed the speed so far, 16 stolen bases. An ideal candidate for that second spot in the batting order.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 2. By the way, there are 4 games happening in the Intercounty Baseball League. 3 of them will be going on basically at the same time. We'll keep you up to date with what is happening. I should mention it's a game that Guelph is keeping an eye on with Kitchener just ahead of them. Kitchener leading Barrie in the bottom of the 9th, 5-4. So that's a big game in terms of how the standings work out in that 7th and 8th position. The 0-2 just under the knees.
Royals Kingdom in full throat early on, voicing Just a little bit of displeasure with that call.
The 1-2 right on over to the shortstop Burns, over to first in time for the second out. Let's take a look at that lineup for the Brantford Red Sox. You just saw Cantor and Takioka. Watt is coming up. Christian Ortega batting cleanup. Andrew Savage is the catcher. Brody Black, Jeremy Viu, Lucas Bateman, and Lucas Lefebvre round out 1 through 9. So here is the aforementioned Cassidy Watt working right field tonight. Right across for strike 1.
Watt, the 23-year-old, batting .245 on the season so far. 26 hits to his name.
The 0-1, right across, strike number 2.
I like what Deans is doing early here, just pounding the strike zone, leaving little time in between his pitches, therefore leaving little time for the batters to think about his next move.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Deans goes 1, 2, 3, including a pair of strikeouts. 13 pitches needed to get through, 11 of them going for strikes. And right there, Josh, you kind of alluded right to it. An excellent analysis there. One of the best color men in the league, let me tell you. Just analyzing the way he's pounding the strike zone and just that pitch selection. There isn't really anything, I don't want to say, lack for a better term, special about it, but it's just simple, hard-nosed pitching, and he got it done there, at least in the first inning.
Well, you know the old saying, the history books don't care how you did it. All that matters is the end result. It's simple. It is textbook. There's nothing fancy, nothing flashy about what Brandon Deans does on the mound, but it's effective. It gets the job done, and as you saw right there, picking up his 25th and 26th strikeouts of the season.
By the way, an update, it is now tied at 5, Kitchener and Barrie. Barrie has tied it in the bottom of the 9th. They could walk it off there, or it could go to extras. Again, we'll keep you updated. That game happening at Athletic Culture Stadium in Barrie. So Connor Irvine will take to the hill here for the Brantford Red Sox tonight. Last time Irvine was here in this ballpark, he put on a performance that was worthy of being named IBL Pitcher of the Week into his 8th start of the season.
And it was well worth it. He lit the Royals up top to bottom. And for a guy who's coming into tonight's game with a .558 ERA, I mean, that's impressive. He's had a slow start to the season. For him to be able to bounce back, I mean, he's really making Hastings his home. Seeming very comfortable up there on the mound. And yeah, as you mentioned off the top, partner, the Royals have been struggling as of late, getting hits, getting fundamental baseball plays conducted out there on the field. So we'll have to see if Irvine can run it back here tonight.
Well, for Irvine, the thing is, I mean, this is kind of a good confine here at Hastings Stadium, just the way he pitches. Lately, he has struggled, including a couple of home losses. He goes 7 innings in a 3-1 loss against Kitchener, where he had to deal with Owen McNeil on the other side, and McNeil went with a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. His last start against Barrie in Barrie, that was almost a week ago. In fact, that was actually a week ago last Saturday, going 5 innings. Just 1 strikeout, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs, 2 of them earned. So, the strikeout's a bit down from what he's used to, as that's going to miss for ball 1 on J.D. Williams. The strikeouts are down, but it's all about being able to use the defense in behind you as well in order to get the job done. The 1-0 right at J.D. goes in for a strike, just painting the inside. The 1-1, checked swing. Did not go around.
And while on the topic of strikeouts, J.D. Williams, 26-year-old, leads the Royals with 30 Ks to his name. And no, I'm not talking about money. He just hasn't been his usual self this year.
That one's going to go down the line and in behind, foul. Well, and JD is not even among the league leaders per se. In fact, the league leader going into today's action was Yosuke Fuji with Kitchener at 42, AJ Carosas with Kitchener at 36, Toby Simmons at 35 for London. How about that for the season that he has had? The 1-2 inside, just missed the inside.
And to give credit where credit is due, Williams has picked up the slack. 284 batting average, 29 hits, not to mention 7 doubles, and outstanding outfield play.
That one's put out of play, and if anything, I mean, if you talk about snubs when it comes to the All-Star Showdown tomorrow, I think JD's case in point #1 on that list. Irvine deals upstairs, 3-2.
Red Sox started off this at-bat playing with shortstop, second base, first base, all drifting towards the outfield grass, and had their third baseman playing in on the infield grass.
Ooh, JD gets out of the way there for ball 4. He had to duck for cover. Well, let's take a look at the lineup for the Guelph Royals this evening. JD, you just saw there. Brando LaRue is going to come up as the shortstop. Garrett Takamatsu working at third. Liam Wilson is the first baseman. Matthew Ward at catcher. Ethan Hammond, the right fielder. Carson Burns comes in as the second baseman. Edgar Garcia, MLB pitching experience. Nope, you're going to swing the bat here today, folks. Edgar Garcia getting in as the DH. A little bit short-staffed here tonight. And Ashton Patterson is batting as the left fielder. And the one thing to think about that, too, Josh, is that one's going to go outside for strike 1 on Brando LaRue. Is, again, All-Star Showdown is tomorrow. You're at the tail end of a weekend. You know, give some guys some rest. You know, getting that extra day if you're not going to the All-Star Showdown, too. You know, go into that post-All-Star Showdown part of the season with a little bit of extra rest. Never hurt anybody.
But here's the thing. Edgar Garcia is going to the All-Star game tomorrow. One of the reserves alongside.
Well, he's not going to bat.
Matthew Ward. I mean, it's the IBL. Crazier things have happened.
Not with the guys they have, partner. That one's in for strike 1. Let me tell you, with the sluggers that are going to that All-Star Showdown, I would bet you $50 on the air right now that Edgar Garcia doesn't get a swing in that game.
You're on.
1 ball, 2 strikes here on LaRue. That one right into foul territory. It was laced to the left side of the Red Sox dugout.
Just about lost our first base camera over to the right of the Red Sox dugout. But of course, it'll go for a souvenir for one of the many young fans packing the stands here at Hastings tonight.
The 1-2, cued high. It's going to go into center field and right over to Brody Black. He'll make the catch. And there's one down. Let's take a look at the defense for the Brantford Red Sox. Ren Takioka, Brody Black, and Cassidy Watt making up the outfield. Lucas Lefebvre coming in as the third baseman. Jacob Cantor is over in short. Bateman, Ortega, Savage rounding out the rest of the infield with Connor Irvine on the bump here tonight. So here comes Garrett Takamatsu, one of the better hitters on this team, though struggling in the month of July. He has, some numbers that you would like to see get a little bit better. Month of July, he's batting just .212. So he'll go in for strike 1.
And especially after entering said month with a plus 380 batting average. I mean, to fall in that matter of weeks shows that something may be off with Takamatsu's game.
That one misses inside. Well, it should be noted, 7 for 33 on the month of July is Tak. 4 of those 7 hits are extra base hits, including 3 home runs. So when he's putting barrel to the bat and getting hits, he's making some impact.
Making the most of the limited chances he's been able to capitalize on, as that one's grounded back to the mound. Irvine's going to flip it on to first. and get the out. But J.D. Williams does advance up to second base.
Thanks, partner.
That's what I'm here for.
So here comes Liam Wilson. Had a big home run lately. Another guy that's just, trying. Let's just face it, he hasn't been 100% most of the season, and he comes into tonight batting .281. Had that 3-game hitting streak snapped, but had that home run against Welland on Tuesday as part of that 6-1 defeat. That'll go across for strike one.
Yeah, the 7-year IBL veteran signed with the Royals to quite a bit of fanfare. I mean, in his last IBL season with the Panthers back in 2023, put up 13 home runs, 45 ribeyes, plenty of pop in his bat, but just hasn't quite been able to make the magic happen this season.
There we are, ball number one. Good laying off there from Liam.
Yeah, and for his struggles, like you mentioned, partner, kind of flying under the radar with that .281 batting average. 7 ribeyes on the season. Would love to add one more here.
The 1-1. That one's put into right. And getting underneath it is Cassidy Watt. He'll make the catch, and that'll do it. So other than the walk to JD, the Guelph Royals go 1, 2, 3 down the line, and we are through one here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. It's scoreless between the Red Sox and the Royals here on Royals TV. To Royals. Welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman here with you. Let's take a look at the defense. Lining up in behind Brandon Deans here tonight. Ashton Patterson is in left field. JD in center. Ethan Hammond is over in right. Takamatsu, LaRue, Burns, and Wilson make up the infield, and Matthew Ward is in behind home plate. So we get started with the second inning. Brandon Deans, 13 pitches in. That one will go across for strike one. Another update from Barrie. It's in the bottom of the 10th inning there. Still remains 5-all. So that game possibly rounding to its conclusion as Christian Ortega fouls that one back. Ortega, as mentioned, one of the starters for Team South at tomorrow's All-Star Showdown.
And for good cause, batting .336 entering tonight's contest. 37 hits, 19 runs scored, not to mention 28 RBIs on the season. Very impressive stat line from the 25-year-old.
The 0-2, that one just missing. Ward tried to frame that one up. So Deans tries it again and got the strike. There's a strikeout. Third K of the night for Mr. Deans.
That one, a very light, I would even say slow slider right up Main Street, and Ortega, he wasn't taken anyways. He'll get set down, and that is Dean's third K of the night.
So here's Andrew Savage, the catcher. Another welcome addition onto this Red Sox team. Batting .278 on the season. Deans gets the sign. Right down Broadway for strike one, just above the knees. The 0-1, swing and a miss for strike two. And partner, that's just straight heat coming across.
Yeah, like we mentioned before, simple, fundamental pitching right there. No tricks, nothing too fancy, just heater after heater, pounding the corners of the strike zone.
Ward sets up outside but goes inside, and that one hits Savage, and he will take first base.
Yeah, you could hear it. Thankfully just clipped off his elbow guard, but the damage done nonetheless.
That might have been a bit of miscommunication there between the battery mates there, as again you saw Ward setting up more toward the outside on that last pitch, and it did not go there whatsoever. So that'll bring up Brody Black, the center fielder. Squares up to bunt. That one misses on the outside. Ball one.
Now on that last play, Royals were playing a pretty straight-up defense. Now you can see Takamatsu playing practically on top of the infield grass. He is not about to get fooled again.
The 1-0. That one missing into the dirt. 2-0.
Black batting .273 entering tonight's contest. 17 RBIs as well. In the top three on the team in that category.
Swing and a miss. There's strike one.
I'm not a big fan of the chase there. I mean, it is a count in his favor, but that one was close and inside. Probably would have gotten called for a ball if Black had let that one fly.
See where he pounds it this time. Here comes the 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1.
Yeah, Dean's definitely trying to get Black chasing again. Saw him take the bait on that last pitch, or the prior pitch, I should say, and then that last pitch right there. Trying to get him going high and inside, but no dice.
The 3-1, trying to frame that one up was Ward, and that'll be ball four.
Ward, one of the better catchers in the IBL in terms of framing up toss-up pitches. But yeah, that one just not going his way, so it'll be two runners aboard with just one out here in the top of the second.
Well, here's Jeremy VU, the DH. And I have breaking news. The Barrie Baycats have just walked it off against Kitchener at 6-5 final in 10 innings. So that game has gone final. One of 4 games in the IBL over with here for tonight. So with that one there, that means Kitchener actually falls back behind Guelph at 11.5 back of Welland. So Guelph finds themselves back up into 7th place in the Intercounty Baseball League standings.
Well,
barring what happens here tonight.
For the time being. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. Getting a little help from the Baycats.
You know what? Maybe people are thinking, it's July 19th, Mark. Why are you standings watch? It is never too early to standings watch, especially with when you look at the standings right now. This is game number 30 tonight for the Guelph Royals, 30 of 42. Not a whole lot of baseball left.
No, the clock is ticking down, and a wise man once said, you don't win championships in June or July.
But you can lose them.
But you can lose them, and you can sure as hell lay the foundation for one.
The 1-0, that one's fouled back. Ooh, that one had some mustard. As it hits the glass plate in behind home plate.
Thunderous. Just rocketing off the glass. Spooking more than a few fans in the stands.
The Foos are here?
So I've heard.
Oh, where's Dave Grohl? Check over at second, the 1-1. That one gets by Ward, and everybody will advance. Oh, that one a wild pitch.
Now, if you look back at prior Brandon Dean's starts, this has unfortunately become a pattern for him, of course, leading to the aforementioned 7.77 ERA entering tonight's contest. He does so well in the first few innings of the game, pounds the strike zone like we've mentioned, throws heat after heat, but the opposition can get to him, can get in his head, and when he starts making one mistake, it's only a matter of time before he makes a couple more.
Oh, right there wasn't a mistake. Strike two.
No doubt about it.
The crowd getting underneath the Guelph starter right there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 away. Runners on second and third. That one right on over to Burns. They'll sacrifice over to first base. They'll get the out, but a runner comes in to score, and the Brantford Red Sox are up 1-0.
Yeah, and you can hear and see exactly just what it means to the Red Sox. As we mentioned, 9th. They are at the basement in the IBL. So picking up runs really, really matters. Yes, it's still July, but for a team that wants to rebound, that wants to make a late season push, every run can count.
There's strike one. Getting a whole lot of noise here from the Royals faithful. The dugout for the Red Sox have been rather noisy as well. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Here's Lucas Bateman, batting .255 on the season.
If anything, the two forces seem to be feeding off each other. Energy matching energy. Taunts and cheers and jeers alike matching from the other.
That'll go over to Burns very slowly, over to first in time, and that will retire the side, but not before one run comes in to score, and the Brantford Red Sox have a 1-0 lead here on the Guelph Royals. And you know, right there, Brandon Dean's faltering a little bit, giving up the run, but did not absolutely break, and this is big because that's another one of those innings where you just limit the damage. That's all you can really do in a situation right there where, you know, Brantford felt like they had something going for them.
Yeah, momentum really seemed to be on their side. Of course, a couple runners in scoring position, but credit where credit is due. Dean's bounced back, induced soft contact. Of course, the sacrifice brought in the one run, I should say. But he got out of the inning with the least amount of damage possible based on those runners that were on base. Good comeback, good bounce back from Deans. But yeah, the Red Sox up early, regardless of the score. Being up, that's a big momentum booster for them. A team that really, really needs a win as of late.
Well, they're going to have cornhole tossing on the field as we head to the bottom of the second inning here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Glad you can join us here. Another look around the IBL as, again, the Barry Baycats winning 6-5 over Kitchener in 10 innings earlier on. That game just wrapping up about 5-10 minutes ago. In the bottom of the fifth, it is Welland and Chatham-Kent in Welland. It's a 4-4 game. Welland had a 4-2 lead at one point. Chatham-Kent just scoring 2 runs in the fifth in order to get back into that one. Braxton Haggith, by the way, a home run in that game for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. The other game happening tonight is at Christie Pitts in Toronto. Hamilton and Toronto, that game scoreless, although that game just getting on. Actually, now it is 1-0 Toronto. It is in the bottom of the second inning. Dennis DeBanning with an RBI single. That's the only scoring in that one so far. So again, 3 games active. We'll keep you up to date as this game goes along. As here comes Matthew Ward for the Guelph Royals. It'll be Ward, Hammond, and Burns due up here in the second. As that'll go across for strike 1. Now, what version of Connor Irvine will we see in this game? I think that's going to be the ongoing question as this game goes along. The 0-1, that one paints inside for strike 2.
Yeah, one of the key storylines to keep your eyes on as this one progresses. Irvine looking very solid starting out, giving up just the walk to Williams.
The 0-2, that one just missing on the outside as looked like they were trying to get him swinging.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. A little chase pitch and the count working in your favor. Good tandem work from Irvine and Savage.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Matthew Ward struggling in the month of July, batting just 167 this month. So first strikeout of the ball game for Connor Irvine, and we will turn it over to Ethan Hammond, who, as of late, another guy that has been picking it up lately, hitting .258 in the month of July. And when you look at the way he has bat all season long, Hammond, sitting at .227, so you're seeing that bit of improvement from him. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, just a couple weeks below, hanging below the Mendoza line now, seeing an upswing in production, and for the Royals, you are really hoping that it stays that way, continuing through this season.
The 1-0 upstairs.
Hammond, one of the most important pieces from last season in the regular season, batted .304, 11 runs scored, 28 hits across 26 games. They are looking for that Ethan Hammond to return to the field.
That'll just paint the outside edge for a strike. The 2-1, that one just under the knees. Ball number 3.
Yeah, despite being just 22 years old, the young gun Ethan Hammond, such a veteran presence at the plate. Good vision.
And there's a hop, and that'll get into center field. Ethan Hammond lays one off the bump and gets the single. First hit given up by Irvine.
Yeah, had it read straight out of the glove and made Irvine pay for leaving that one hanging over the middle of the plate. So it'll be a runner aboard with just 1 out, and of course Carson Burns coming up to the plate.
Carson Burns, the second baseman, here on Country Night here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. A number of Royals players were sporting the plaids, sporting the cowboy hats as well.
Yeah, you love to see players get into a themed night, whether it be Country Night, Canada Day, whatever it may be.
The 1-0, that one's fouled back. Well, it's nights like this that you wish Josh Garton was still playing for the team. That guy rocked Country Night last year.
If he had his way, he'd wear the cowboy hat on the base path, coming up to bat all around Hastings.
The 1-1. That'll paint the outside edge for strike 2. Yeah, maybe they make a batting helmet that's shaped like a cowboy hat.
That would be fun. A little attachment on top.
Hey, dear Rawlings, or dear all equipment makers, get this done. Thank you. The 1-2. That one right in on the hands, and that one is going to drop in shallow right field. Throw into second base, and they'll get the force out. So Hammond is retired, but Carson Burns gets on base on a play that, again, didn't get a whole bunch of power underneath it, but got it to land.
Well, now coming up to the plate. Folks, don't adjust your sets. That is Edgar Garcia, the Royals' closing pitcher, oftentimes even coming out for starting roles. He also spent time in the major leagues from 2019 to 2021. Bounced around from the Phillies to the Rays to the Reds to the Brewers. Plenty of experience under his belt, and in his professional baseball career, whether that be minor leagues, major leagues, independent leagues, it is here in the IBL that he has gotten his, well, now his third ever batting appearance.
That one's going to be laced foul. Yeah, into his third game as the DH. He's 1 for 6 here this season. Has only struck out once, though. So a guy that, well, as you saw in that last pitch, he can make contact. The 0-2 upstairs.
Not to mention, I mean, it takes a pitcher to know a pitcher. Being able to read the ball straight out of the glove is such an important asset for any batter, let alone a pitcher cameoing as a DH for the night.
The 1-2, swing and a miss, went chasing, and there's a strikeout. Second strikeout of the game for Connor Irvine, and the first base player, Carson Burns, is stranded. We head to the third here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. This is Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard-line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here inside the broadcast booth in Guelph. It is a 1-0 game. The Brantford Red Sox with the lead, and it will be Lucas Lefebvre, Jacob Cantor, and Ren Takaoka due up here for the visitors, trying to add to this lead on the hard-throwing Brandon Deans.
Deans able to bounce back after giving up the run last inning. Hoping to keep up his flame-throwing ways.
And he's at 34 pitches here, 24 of them going for strikes. Swing and a miss, foul tip into the glove. Nothing but heat on that last pitch to Lefebvre. Again, playing for his third team this season. The 0-2, chopper. Grabbed there by LaRue on the run over to first in time, and that'll retire Lefebvre.
And that's the same thing that we saw from Deans at the end of last inning, inducing soft contact in the infield. I mean, it's not pretty, but it gets the job done, and that's really all that matters, especially when you're down 1-0 early on in a baseball game like this, with so much on the line, two teams so hungry for a win, scratching and clawing their way through the next 6 innings.
Ball one upstairs on Jacob Cantor. He struck out swinging back in the first. That one's fouled back.
Cantor in just his 2nd IBL game, stepping up for his 5th ever at-bat in this league.
Yeah, 2 for 3 in his first career game. That one missing inside. Had that walk against Barrie and that 6-5 defeat yesterday. The 2-1, that one upstairs. Well, it's the time of year where you're going to see new names come in more and more often as these two teams and the rest of the IBL shore up their rosters ahead of the transaction deadline. The 3-1, swing and a miss. Full count here on Cantor.
Looking back at his last plate appearance, and now in this one, Cantor isn't quite chasing pitches outside. He has been caught off guard by pretty much anything over the plate.
Right there, strike 3. He goes down looking. 4th strikeout of the game for Brandon Deans.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Just pretty much fooled by a straight heat fastball right up the middle of the plate. Takes a big hack at it and comes up with nothing but air. Something he is going to have to work on if he's going to make an impact in this league.
Well, here's Ren Takioka, leads the IBL with his .449 average among qualifying hitters. Squared up the bunt. That goes across anyway for strike 1. 40 hits so far this season. That is not first place in the IBL. In fact, he is tied for, he's actually in 7th place in the IBL in that category. Weisner with 46 leads the pack. John Javier with Toronto with 45. Brandon Luther with Welland with 45 as well. Yasvani Penalve with 43 with Kitchener. Evan Morrison, who's having a phenomenal season with the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers in there too. That one just missing outside.
And it just speaks volumes to the quality and level of talent in the IBL. When you got a guy like Takioka hitting 40 hits in this season, and he's not even top 5 in the league, that really goes to show you.
There's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. 5 Ks for Brandon Deans. He goes 1, 2, 3 as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd.
Well, I was going to say, after Brandon Deans so rudely interrupted me with that vicious strikeout, is that, I mean, that shows the quality of this league, and to have players like Takioka in it goes a long way in the end.
Well, as we head to the bottom half of the 3rd, it'll be Ashton Patterson, J.D. Williams, and Brando LaRue due up here for the Guelph Royals. And they got the 1 hit in the last inning from Ethan Hammond, but we got to continue fighting here against Connor Irvine.
Well, we talked about how Brandon Deans plays like fundamental textbook baseball. That's what the Royals need to do on the other side of the ball. Just get hits, just induce contact. Get on base regardless of how you do it, and try and flip momentum in your favor. That's really all they need to do heading through the rest of the season. We've talked at length about how the team average overall has dipped so far in this month of July. Something they just really need to work on is the fundamentals. You can hit home runs all you like, you can put great pitchers up there on the mound, but when you aren't getting runners on base through basic hits, that shows that something needs to change, and soon.
Well, when guys get on base, When you look at the averages, I mean, they're not bad. They're batting .317 with the bases loaded, so more often than not, they're getting the ball in play when the guys, have, the bases loaded here. Scoring position, they're batting .270 on the year. Scoring position with 2 out, though, batting just .196. So when you have that second out, you kind of have to use that as motivation to say, hey, it's make or break here. We got to get this done. That'll miss on the outside. Ashton Patterson takes ball 1. And also getting guys on base leading off. The leadoff batters are just batting .189 this season with the Guelph Royals. The 1-0. That one missing upstairs. Not by much, though, at least from my vantage point.
Yeah, that one close, but really could have gone either way. Quite the toss-up. Good on Patterson to step back and let that one fly.
The 2-0 way upstairs. Ball 3.
Patterson, like the man waiting on deck, J.D. Williams, having struggles with the strikeouts this season. 21 strikeouts so far. Just a 111 batting average.
There's strike 1 as some good movement there from Irvine's last delivery. Bit of a slider going more inside. The 3-1, swing and a miss. Strike 2, came back with some heat.
Yeah, even with Irvine flame thrown out there on the mound, I don't mind that swing from Patterson. It's a count in your favor. Might as well try and get a hit, try and get on base.
And that's strike 3 as Ashton Patterson threw the bat, thinking that he was going to go walking, but he's going to walk back to the dugout. And there's 1 down here in the 3rd.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier about how Matthew Ward is probably one of the best catchers in the IBL when it comes to framing up pitches that could be toss-ups. I think credit needs to be given to Savage. That one, similar to many of these Irvine pitches, could have gone either way. Savage wrangling them in for the big strikeouts.
There's strike 1 on J.D. Williams. Walked his last time up as the order turns over for the first time here tonight for Guelph. The 0-1, that one missing outside.
Williams left stranded at second base. His last time up. Looking to reverse his fortunes here.
That one goes inside, 2-1. Well, when we talk about that game against Pare where there was only 3 hits for the Royals, this guy had 2 of them. The 2-1, swing and a miss. Swinging for the fences there, strike 2. Just the 1 home run on the season for J.D.
Yeah.
And when you look at the the extra base hits too, he's got just 8 extra base hits out of the 29 hits overall. Chopper down the line, foul. So what does that tell you?
It kind of seems like, I mean, he has the speed to go extra bases. The pop might just not be there for him this season. We mentioned Liam Wilson, how things have kind of taken a downturn in terms of the pop in his bat. J.D. Williams, 6 home runs last year in the regular season. And yeah, over halfway through this season, just 1 to his name. That shows that he may need to focus a little more on just trying to put bat to ball more often than not. He's got power. It just hasn't been playing for him this season.
The 3-2 fouled back. Well, I mean, the fact that he's batting .284 isn't the worst thing in the world.
No, not at all.
But when you look at his previous production in comparison, I mean, this is a 300 hitter we're talking about here consistently over his Royals career.
Yeah, even just last season, up to 327 in the regular season.
That one on the ground. Cantor fields it over at short, over to first in time for the second out. So that'll bring up Brando LaRue, who is 0 for 1.
LaRue, a welcome addition back to this Royals squad, the 22-year-old, an all-star last season, comes into tonight's contest batting 197 in just his short time back with the squad. 9 stolen bases and 14 runs scored, so it's obvious that the athleticism, the aggression on the base paths hasn't quite left him.
There's a swing and a miss, strike one.
Coming off a very impressive campaign with the Florida Atlantic Owls in D1.
That one hammered into left field. Base hit for Brando.
And of course, as soon as I mentioned him showing off the speed, now a chance to do so here on the base pass. 2 outs, so perhaps we won't see him run. Risky, but I could see him taking the chance. Like I mentioned, impressive season with the Florida Atlantic Owls out of D1. 10 stolen bases there. Already 9 for the Royals here in this season. A lethal first step. See if Savage and Irvine can catch up to him.
That'll go for strike one. So Garrett Takamatsu, a sacrifice hit his last time up. Chopper. Slow over. First base, and he's safe. Garrett legs it out, and there are 2 on here for the Royals. And I don't think the Red Sox like that call over at first base.
Not one bit. I mean, you can still see them shaking their heads, kicking in the dirt, and all of a sudden that dugout has gone eerily quiet.
Oh, and you look at that play too, Josh, where it is a slow chopper, and you have to wait that one out. There's a bit of impatience involved in that one as well.
To me, it just looked like Cantor was just going to let that one come to him. He wasn't trying to force anything. He thought he could get the out at first, but nothing comes.
Slider in there, strike one.
Takamatsu, for his size, quite the athletic guy. Got quite a bit of speed and athleticism in his frame. And yeah, puts in the legwork, cranks up the nos, and makes it up to first in time.
That one's going to hit Wilson on the leg, and the bases are loaded here for the Royals. Here's where you got to cash one in to tie it.
Yep, we were just talking about how the Royals need to do these fundamental things. You mentioned, partner, about their stat line when it comes to bases loaded, but you also mentioned how they've been struggling when it's runners in scoring positions with 2 outs. You got to remember that pressure goes both ways. So not only are the Royals feeling the pressure to try and cash in some runs, it's on the Red Sox, on Irvine especially, to close out this inning. And that could very well lead to some fireworks.
Well, here's Matthew Ward with an opportunity. That one goes into the dirt for ball 1. Ward striking out last time up.
Ward has shown a very calm presence at the plate. 17 walks to date as that one's going to get away.
Here comes a runner in, and the Royals have tied it.
And that is exactly what I'm talking about, when pressure goes both ways. Of course, it's on the Royals to try and cash in those runners, but Irvine letting the moment get to him. Just kind of cracked under the lights here at Hastings. Put that one down in the dirt, and Savage, to his credit, tried to jump on top of it, but couldn't get to it in time. And now it is all square here in the 3rd inning.
So runners in scoring position with 2 out here for the Royals. 2-0 the count. The delivery, that one sent out of play. Could be a long at-bat here if Ward keeps on battling.
Yeah, it is important to mention that with the run scored, Ward remains at the dish. As previously mentioned, 17 walks up to this point in the season. Patient, calm, picks the exact pitch he wants.
The 2-1 missing, not by much though. 3 balls, 1 strike. Ward would like to continue the party here for the Guelph Royals. Here comes the 3-1. In for ball 4, and that'll load the bases yet again here for Ethan Hammond coming to the dish.
Matthew Ward, as he has done many times before this season, walks the line up to first base. Now, I usually save this little line for clutch situations at the ends of the game, the 9th inning and whatnot, but they say diamonds are made under pressure. It's time to see who's going to shine bright under the lights here at Hastings, and that could very well be Ethan Hammond.
Brantford here, they have to watch these wild pitches. They come into tonight's game leading the league with 43 wild pitches on the season. So Hammond 1 for 1. Upstairs for ball 1. Guelph, by comparison, 26 wild pitches on the year. Not perfect by any means. They're more middle of the pack. The 1-0. Foul back. But you look at the teams that commit less and less wild pitches, it's pretty much the who's who of who's in the top of the ranks in the IBL. Welland first, Barry second. 2 of them under 20 wild pitches all season long. The 1-1. Off the end of the bat, foul.
Yeah, that was quite the reach there from Hammond. That one, fastball high and outside, but he still took a swing at it. And now faces a 1-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Irvine deals. Popped up, but it will go foul. Everybody's shouting for that baseball. It was getting into a dangerous territory there.
And not just Red Sox players, namely Savage. Kids and grown adults alike chasing after that one, calling for it all the way.
Well, that's what you do. It's all about communication.
It's the name of the game.
Back to the plate we go. 1-2 count. Off the end of the bat, and another wasted pitch.
But intentional or otherwise, good on Hammond for continuing to lengthen this at-bat to up Irvine's pitch count.
Now up to 66 for Connor Irvine.
Let the pressure get to him and see if he cracks.
31st pitch of the at-bat of the inning, and that's a strikeout. So a 4th strikeout for Connor Irvine, but that pitch count goes way up. And more importantly for the Royals, they have tied this game at 1. We are live on Royals TV. We'll be back on the other side with the 4th inning after this. Welcome back to Royals TV Under the Lights here at David E. Hastings Stadium in Guelph. To Cassidy Watt we go here for the Brantford Red Sox in a 1-1 tie between the Brantford Red Sox and the Guelph Royals. 46 pitches for Brandon Deans up to this stage. Just needed 13 to get through the last inning. That went into the dirt, 1-0. Couple of 13-pitch innings here for Brandon Deans tonight.
If there's one thing he's especially good at, aside from pounding the strike zone, it's pacing himself. Being able to flip things over, rebound when things aren't going his way, and really turn things in his favor and work them quickly.
Right over to Burns, fields it over to first in time, and Watt is retired on the ground out. That'll bring up Christian Ortega. Struck out back in the second inning.
As we mentioned earlier, will be a starter in tomorrow's All-Star Showdown at Bernie Arbor Stadium in the Hammer.
Get your tickets now, HamiltonCardinals.com. Hearing that tickets are just about run out. So if you do want to head down to the Hammer tomorrow, get your tickets now, because they want to fill up Bernie Arbor Stadium with the best, both on the field and off the field as well.
Well said.
Deans deals the 0-1 inside, 1-1. Oh, the home run derby starts at 5 o'clock. It'll be on the air at 4:30 for a pregame show.
Quite the stacked lineup, top to bottom.
That'll go across for a strike. I know I'll be down there and hanging out with the microphone on for a little bit. Reed Duffy and Neil Srivastava will have the call on Cable 14 of that game. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 6 for Brandon Deans.
I am really loving what I'm seeing from Brandon Deans tonight. Yes, he gave up that run early on in the top of the second inning, but he's rebounded so well. He even kicked off the game in spectacular fashion.
Also forgot to mention Christian Ortega, who just struck out, will be part of the home run derby tomorrow as well. One of the 8 stars of the IBL that will swing for the fences, if you will. That one into the dirt, 1-0. What were you saying?
Back to your regularly scheduled programming. Deans has really pounded the strike zone. That's the point we've gone back to over and over again. That's his safe spot. That's the place he is most comfortable in, throwing heat, whether it be in the corners, even kind of painting up high, trying to get some chases. He has been so impressive early on in this one.
Barely anything off speed. The 1-1 is going to go upstairs, and I'm thinking he's probably 95% fastball here in this game.
As far as I know, the only real breaking ball is that slow, lazy slider that he got a strikeout on a couple innings back.
3 balls, 1 strike here on Savage. Was hit by a pitch in the second, later came around to score. That's strike number 1, or strike number 2. So full count with 2 away, and Dean's a pitch away from getting out of it. That one's fouled away.
Yeah, in the blink of an eye, this inning close to being over if Deans can perfectly place the payoff pitch.
Here it comes. The 3-2 upstairs, and Savage will take the base. So here comes Brody Black, who walked his last time up.
The center fielder, number 4, Brody
Black, 17 RBIs entering tonight's contest. Despite a .273 batting average, has also struck out 33 times. When he's hot, and when he's not, he's not.
That one's going to get by Ward, and over into scoring position comes Savage. Well, Brody Black, of course, part of the MLB Draft League last summer. Played 2 years at Copen State in Baltimore.
And just 23 years of age. A very bright future ahead of him. But it's all about the present as he faces the 1-0 from Deans.
Right across for a strike. So that previous pitch is going to go down as a pass ball on Ward. So nothing wild about that pitch from Brandon Deans, that's for sure. A look over at second base. The 1-1. Chopper. Right over to LaRue. Gets it on the hop. Over to first. In time. And they'll strand the runner. As Brando LaRue making some good work over there at shortstop.
That was some hard contact in the infield, something we haven't quite seen. Deans, as we mentioned before, so good at inducing soft contact, especially to get out of innings. That one had a little more crunch behind it and took quite the Hastings hop on its way over to Brando LaRue. Of course, showing off his hops, getting high in the air and flashing the leather before making the throw on to first to end the inning.
Well, it's a 1-1 ball game, despite the fact that well, I'm just not going to say it, but it'll be the bottom of the order due up here for the Guelph Royals. Carson Burns, Edgar Garcia, Ashton Patterson, and this is where you really need to pick things up from where you left it off in the third, where you got a couple of hits, you get the bases loaded a couple of times. Use that momentum.
Yeah, momentum, I think, is going to be the key little storyline to keep an eye on as we enter the mid stages of this game. Whether it be positive or negative. Of course, once pressure starts building on you, it can overwhelm, as we saw with Irvine last inning. But when you're getting the good vibes, when things are really working in your favor, you can feel invincible up there at the dish or up there on the mound. For either of these teams, in particular the Royals, when it comes to the bottom half of their batting order, they need to capitalize on any time that they get just a little bit of momentum, a little bit of good fortune heading their way.
So this will bring up Carson Burns to start things off. Just a quick look around the IBL standings. We'll get to that when we come back on the other side in the fifth inning. Just a couple of extra details in those games, I should add. Hamilton 3-1 in the top of the fourth over Toronto, and Welland up 6-4 in the top of the seventh against Chatham-Kent. So here's Carson Burns, reached on a fielder's choice back in the second. That'll be strike number 2.
Yeah, shows bunt really leaning into the pitch, almost stumbling out of the batter's box. But seemed to catch the Red Sox off guard. Playing a pretty traditional defensive setup. Lefebvre doing himself no favors by staying on the outfield grass.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 3. Carson Burns goes down. 5 strikeouts now for Connor Irvine. As they're going K for K.
Yeah, that is something that has been very fascinating to see. These two pitchers who statistically are struggling entering tonight's contest, picking up the Ks, making little mistakes but bouncing back from them.
That one bounces in behind. It's going to land on the roof in behind the grandstands. This is Edgar Garcia, struck out swinging back in the second.
The 28-year-old. Still typically a pitcher for the Royals and throughout most of his career.
Chopper over to Cantor, over to first in time to get the second out. That was a hot shot over to shortstop. Cantor making glove out of nothing at all on that one.
Cantor with, I don't want to say theatrics out there at short, but made a big show of grabbing that one and making quite the quick throw over to first. And already 2 outs here, so the bottom 3, not quite the place to be for the Royals tonight.
Ashton Patterson laces that one into right field, and right underneath it is Cassidy Watts. Comes over a few feet to make the grab, and that's a 1-2-3 inning as we finish things off here in the 4th. To the 5th we go here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The Brantford Red Sox and your Guelph Royals here on Royals TV.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Welcome back to Royals TV, getting set for the 5th inning. Here in the Royals City in Guelph, we will see the Brantford Red Sox send their bottom of the order here to the plates with Brandon Deans. Yet another good inning his last time up, giving up just the walk. Pitch count a little bit more elevated in that inning, but no damage on the scoreboard as we remain 1-1 as that one gets past Ward.
And that is not the first time tonight what looked initially like a routine fastball has ended up down in the dirt and all the way past Ward. Both Deans and Irvine have been struggling with their control when it comes to the fastballs down low. Something to keep an eye on as this one progresses.
VU is last time up. Ended up getting that sacrifice hit, allowing Savage to come in to score. 1 ball, 1 strike. That'll go across for strike 2.
The former McMaster Marauder, now in his 3rd year with the Red Sox, enters tonight, .232 batting average, not to mention 10 walks on the season. Would love to show a little patience here.
That one on the outside, the peel over to first, and they're going to say he did not go around. Yeah, also a former Hamilton Cardinal, played there in 2021 and 2022 before moving down the 403. The 2-2 down over to Takamatsu, over to first in time to record the outs.
Well, I haven't quite been able to do the same on the other side of the ball. The Royals have been playing a lot of fundamental defense. Basic coverage, basic throws, and that's all you need to do. Don't get in your own head. Don't let whatever's up there on the scoreboard affect you. Just focus on that next out, and that is exactly what they are doing defensively here tonight. Textbook throw from Takamatsu over to first.
That went into the dirt on Lucas Bateman, who grounded out his last time up. Bateman in his first full season. And this is that, that work that you do in the 22U program. Build your way up to get a regular spot here on the senior team. The 1-1. That one missing downstairs. 2-1.
Not to mention he's coming off an impressive run of form with the Rochester University team out in the NAIA. 285 batting average, 55 ribeyes, and 21 stolen bases in his last season.
That one's popped up. Stays in the infield. Tak getting underneath it. He'll make the catch. And there's 2 down. Mark that one down as an F5.
Third baseman, number 8, Lucas.
To Lucas Lefebvre we go. Third baseman. A ground out to Brando LaRue back in the second inning. So we have talked about third team of the season. Signed with Welland back in January. Played for them to start the year. Got released, went to Kitchener, got released, and now he's here with Brantford. Just looking to find these at-bats and get his swing of things going here and trying to find a regular position in the IBL. There's a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Across both his time with the Jackfish and here with the Red Sox, he's been quite the utility guy. Like you mentioned, partner, still trying to find his spot, playing all across the infield.
That one is put into right center, and that one's going to drop and get against the wall. First hit given up by Brandon Deans is going to be a double here for Lucas Lefebvre with 2 down here in the 5th.
Yeah, you could see he was swinging all the way.
The shortstop, number
Was
9,
primed and ready.
Jacob Cantor.
Almost kind of leaning back as soon as that pitch was tossed to him, and definitely made the most of his moment. Finding his spot here in this game as he finds himself in a scoring position here with 2 outs.
Oh, no for us, unfortunately. Back to the top of the order, Jacob Cantor. First pitch he sees goes well outside. Cantor has struck out twice in this game. 6 Ks already for Brandon Deans. The 1-0, that one gets by Ward, and that'll advance the runner. That is a textbook wild pitch.
Yeah, something that Deans has struggled with tonight. Seemingly anytime he tries to throw on the glove side of things.
Well, and here comes Dino Ramel putting the stop sign up. He's going to come and visit with Deans. And the trainer's going to come out here as well. So, maybe there's something up with Deans and just his delivery. They're going to have a conversation here. The umpire's going to come in here on this conversation as well. Looks like they might be checking out his hand.
Yeah, especially with the amount of wild pitches that he's thrown tonight, or even simply fastballs down in the dirt. Something you want to keep an eye on, especially if something's gone wrong in the hand or even shoulder, anywhere up in that right arm, you just want to check. You just want to make sure, especially when he's having quite the performance.
So not a mound visit charge for the Royals on that one. That's a medical check-in. That one's fouled back, 2-1. Well, maybe there's just nothing wrong with them. They just didn't want to burn a mound visit.
Who are we to say? Could be anything.
It could be anything.
Such are the ways of the IBL.
The 2-1 missing on the inside, on the outside rather. I thought that one painted the outside edge, but Don Michelle says nope. 3 balls, 1 strike. And that'll miss. Trying to pick the bottom corner, and there's runners on the corners here with 2 away.
And after Deans quieted him down over the last few innings, the Red Sox fans and dugout back in full throat. Cheers and jeers aplenty.
So here's Ren Takioka. Now, do you send Cantor to second on this one?
I don't know. I think with the lead being where it is, you don't want to give up any missed opportunities. You don't want to let anything pass you by.
That'll be delivered for ball 1, just missing on the outside.
If you got runners aboard, leave your runners on board. Don't leave it up to fate when it comes to caught stealing over at second.
That one's popped up. Patterson in left field, getting underneath it. He'll make the catch. And no harm, no foul there as we remain tied at 1. Heading to the bottom of the 5th. A bit more trouble there for Brandon Deans, but he gets out of the jam.
And that seemingly has been the story of the game. The headline right there, Brandon Deans gets out of the jam. Any kind of tough situation, any long at bat that he's been worked into, he has found a way out, whether that be by inducing soft contact, pop-ups, or simply the good old flamethrower strikeout. He's been getting it done on the mound for the Royals tonight, partner.
Well, and when you look at it, too, he's up to 82 pitches right now. So pitching with the pitch counts, especially in the last couple of innings, you can see how quickly you can pile up when you're going, 15 to 20 pitches per inning. We're through 5 for him, up to 82. That last inning alone needed 19 pitches to get out of it. So, again, and I say it all the time, you want to see that range of 12 to 15 if you want a guy to go long distance. Even just a couple of extra pitches on top of that, all of a sudden you find yourself with 82 pitches through 5. You have another bigger pitch count outing in the 6th if you go to 6. You find yourself over the century mark, and then you're probably not going to go into the 7th, into the 8th, into the 9th. Or maybe that's just not the plan anyway for Dino Ramel. But again, when you look at starters, that's why you want to see that range being between 12 to 15, because even if you go 20 per inning, all of a sudden you're at the century mark by the 5th inning.
The excess adds up as the game progresses.
And it's slow and you don't notice it as much.
It's those little things like you're aiming for, like you mentioned, 12 to 15. Oh, you end up with 17 this inning. You end up with 18, 19. That may seem, in the individual context, like just 2, 3, 4 more pitches than what should be happening in a given inning. But yeah, that really does add up over time. We'll see if Deans can stick with it here.
To the top of the order we go. A 1-2-3 inning the last time up for Connor Irvine, and it's the 3rd time through the order, which raises another question just in terms of what have the Royals seen their first 2 times up here on Connor Irvine that they can try to exploit here.
I think one thing to keep an eye on is that in hitters counts, he loves to leave the fastball right over top of the plate or even come inside close to the hands like you saw right there.
J.D. Williams taking one high and inside, but it was called a strike. The 2-1, that one missing downstairs.
Now, calling back to the topic of is Deans going to stick with it, while we were just talking about that, we did see Gaku Ueda heading up to the bullpen. He's not warming up just yet, just kind of walking around, chatting with some fans out there in the bullpen. Something to keep an eye on as this one progresses.
3 balls, 2 strikes here on JD. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Cues that one, and it just sneaks in. Talk about accuracy. So, full disclosure, folks, there's a net in behind home plate that protects the fans in here. It reached in behind the crevice that attaches to the pole on the right side and got through. That one missing inside, and JD is going to take a walk. So I think that might be the first time I have ever seen it here at Hastings Stadium where a fan in behind the screen comes away with a baseball.
Your shortstop, number 5.
I think I may have to say the same. Just over a year is my time here with the Royals, and I can't say that I've ever seen anything like that here at Hastings.
Well, here's Brando LaRue, 1 for 2 with a single. Squares up to bunt. That one played in the infield. Unable to scoop it is Irvine. Everybody's safe. A bunt single for Brando.
Now that is what I'm talking about. When it comes to fundamental hits, when it comes to simply getting on base, being able to read the room, for lack of a better term, is exactly what the Royals need to be doing a lot more of. Intentional or otherwise, Brando LaRue sent that up the first baseline, almost in the middle ground, the no man's land between the pitcher's mound and first base. Now Lefebvre playing on the infield grass like he did in the last at-bat. LaRue took advantage of that. Let's see if Takamatsu can do the same.
Takamatsu 1 for 2 with a single.
Two runners.
Hit one right to the pitcher his last time up. The 1-0, skied high into right field. Underneath it is Watt. He'll make the catch. And they're not going to chance it. Good throw by Cassidy Watt to third base. Keeping it in play is Lucas Lefebvre, and that is very important for the Brantford Red Sox as they keep the runners on first and second, respectively.
Yeah, that is just phenomenal defense from Watt. You've got 2 of the Royals' top 3 speedsters out there on the base paths in the form of Williams at second, LaRue at first. Especially Williams, if he tries to advance, you've just got to cut him off. And he kind of feigned a run over to third there, got stopped about halfway down the line, and it was that throw from Watt that sent him scrambling back to second. Great work from the Red Sox to keep things right where they're at.
Here's Liam Wilson. That one's going to hit him on the back. Second straight at-bat where Wilson has been clunked by Connor Irvine, and he will take first base. That'll load the bases. As he has a word with Irvine. He is not happy. Wilson, the two of them chirping at each other.
And it's
see the umpire coming in there as well, just trying to keep cooler heads.
It's hard to tell if that was a little friendly banter or some more devious chirping back and forth.
Well, and Wilson is notoriously one of those guys, for some reason, he gets clunked with the baseball more often than not. That is the 9th time he has been hit by a pitch this season. And in fact, that leads the Intercounty Baseball League. He just took the lead in that category. Robert Mullen was hit by a pitch 8 times coming into tonight. So now make that 9 for Liam, barring what has happened in the other games here tonight as well. That'll go across for a strike for Ward. I'm telling you, Liam, guy's got A lot of ice to work with in that dugout, that's for sure. And he needs all of it to cover up all those bruises, if anything, being clunked with the baseball as many times as he has been.
Yeah, even just tonight, getting plunked on the outside left thigh, and then now right in the square of his back, right on the numbers. See if he can rest up after this one.
The 1-1. Scoop there by Cantor, over to first, and in time, double play. Brantford gets out of it. It remains tied at 1-5 here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. We'll be back after this. This is Royals TV. Welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here. Let's take a look at the standings coming into tonight's action. There you see the Welland Jackfish at 22-7 on the year. Make it 23. Sorry, it is still 22-7. They are in action right now. Welland tied at 6 with the 4th place Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. That is in the top of the 8th. So a slugfest between two powerful teams in the Intercounty Baseball League here tonight. The other game that's still ongoing, it is Hamilton 3, Toronto 1. As Brandon Nickel with a home run in that one for the Hamilton Cardinals to take that 3-1 lead. The other game has gone final, as mentioned before. Kitchener losing to Pare through 10 innings, a 6-5 final. So Kitchener now at 12-20. They drop back into 8th spot in the IBL. Guelph goes back up into 7th place, and Barry's at 19-10 on the year, just 3 back of Welland. That will miss downstairs for ball 1 here on Cassidy Watt. Upstairs, Watt gets out of the way. Kind of a protect myself swing on that one, although he didn't go around whatsoever.
I wouldn't even call it enough to be a swing. Sheltering himself in self-defense.
Swing and a miss. Well, that's a swing.
Yeah, no protecting him from the lethal fastball of Brandon Deans. He has been throwing gas, and nothing but gas here tonight. As we mentioned before, only mixing in the odd breaking ball, once in a blue moon, once in every few innings.
The 2-1, that one sent into right field, and Hammond comes over to make the catch. Watt officially 0 for 3 on the night, and we'll send it over to Christian Ortega. Was a pair of strikeouts. Well, the strikeouts haven't exactly been Deans' forte, particularly in the last couple of innings. His 6th K came back in the 4th. And that was for the 2nd out. So You know, really relying on the defense lately. Getting a piece of that one is Ortega.
But as we mentioned at the end of last inning, it's the defense that has come up big for the Royals. Making simple plays effectively. Not letting things get past them. Garrett Takamatsu playing over at third base tonight. Hasn't quite been the best in terms of defensive prowess over there in the hot corner. 4 errors to his name. All of them coming at starts at third base.
That'll go in for a strike.
But it's not just him, it's all of these Royals out here on the field tonight that have really turned a new page defensively. Coming up strong when Deans needs the support most.
Dean's coming in, pitch number 89. That one framed up by Ward, but he didn't get the call.
And that one was oh so close. Down on the outside corner. Ward doing his best, but not getting the call he wants.
Swing and a miss. Well, there's no doubt about that one. That is strikeout number 7 for Mr. Deans. And there's 2 away here in the 6th.
Brandon Deans running a very simple, a tight game up there on the mound. The fastball is favored weapon, of course. Has made the most of the Red Sox seeming inability to catch up to anything with just a tinge of heat on it.
This is Andrew Savage. Without an official AB tonight, was hit by a pitch in the 2nd, walked in the 4th. Came across to score the only run for the Red Sox in this game. There's a swing and a miss. Savage in his 12th game of the year, 12th game of his IBL career. The 1-1, that one missing downstairs. First game, pretty memorable. 3 for 4 here at Hastings Stadium on June 14th. The double and RBI in that one as well. The 2-1, that one just missing. Ward tried to pull that one up into the strike zone. And the fans are starting to get on Don Michelle, the home plate umpire. The 3-1, strike number 2.
And now the fans a little more favorable, showing their support for that call. No doubt that it was a strike.
Looking for a payoff here at the full count here on Savage. The 3-2, swing and a miss, he got him. And Brandon Deans is pumped up. Strikeout number 8 on the night. And we head to the home half of the 6th with the score line still tied 1-1. The Red Sox taking the 1-0 lead in the 2nd, and the Royals coming back with a run in the 3rd. The only scoring we have seen thus far here at Hastings Stadium.
Now, something I just picked up on. Dino Ramel was waving to the bullpen the universal sign for hurry things
wait
up.
Wait just a moment. We got to go back onto the field here. There is a heated conversation happening. That looks like Aiden Colangelo. I think he just got thrown out of this ball game, as he was throwing dirt onto the plate. Well, he's gone back into the dugout. The fans cheered as if he got thrown out.
Yeah, that.
But all 3 umpires coming in and having the convo with him, as he came right to home plate, and he was heated.
Yeah, mouth and words that we
and
cannot
yes,
repeat.
Indeed, I think he is. I don't think it was Colangelo, but I think there was somebody in the dugout. There has been an ejection in this game. So we'll see how that plays out. as we have seen some tensions in this ball game already. And just a little bit of frustration is, again, it's a 1-1 score line, and little things can end up turning into big things in this game. And right there, we see that the umpires, something is said, and someone gets thrown out of this game here for the Brantford Red Sox. We'll get you who that was as soon as we get it.
In due time. Yeah, from one intense conversation to another, Dean Ramel giving the universal sign to hurry things up in the bullpen, having quite the spirited conversation with Brandon Deans close to the dugout as all of this was going on the grand stage, on the diamond. So Dean's obviously pleading his case.
Well, he wants to come back out for the 7th. That's exactly what that conversation is that is ball 1 here on Ethan Hammond. And you look at that pitch count, 96 pitches, 59 of them going for strikes. That is a foul ball just barely on the other side of the first base. But that's exactly what that conversation is. I mean, he's been pitching well, and you look at the last couple of innings of work that he has had a little bit of trouble in the 5th, gave up that double, gave up the walk as well, gets a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th, and I think that's Dino saying, hey, we're going to go to the bullpen, and that's Dean saying, no, I want the 7th. The 1-1. Cross for a strike. And I think if anything, too, is with the way Deans has been pitching, in particular getting the last 4 outs, I mean, why not? Try him out to start the 7th, and then if he runs into a bit of trouble, you turn it to the bullpen.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen much action in the pen for the Royals. It's a 2-2 count here on Hammond, who is 1 for 2.
On the topic, actually, it looks like whoever was in the bullpen, we saw not just Wada, but another pitcher mixing it up in there with him. Now, nowhere to be found.
Chopper. Bateman trying to get to it. He gets to it indeed. Throw over to first. Well, not in time. And it's an infield hit there for Ethan.
And takes quite the tumble on his way to the ball. Putting his body on the line, but that effort bears no fruit. Runner on board. Still no outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, here's Carson Burns, who is 0 for 2. Fielder's choice in the second. Struck out swinging in the 4th. Drops down a bunt. That's going to go foul. Trying to bunt it down as they activated Hammond over from first.
And now seemingly giving the game away. Obviously, it's never your intention to foul away a bunt attempt, but Burns did so nonetheless. And now you can see Lefebvre right on top of that infield grass, as close as he can come while still protecting his bag.
The 0-1 drops that bunt high and right into the glove of Andrew Savage. And you can see that delivery. That is all on Connor Irvine on that pitch.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I mentioned, Burns effectively gave the game away. Gave up that he was going bunt all the way, and Irvine threw it just the right way. Looked like a two-seamer, had a little bit of break to it. Right place, right time.
That'll go in for a strike on Edgar. I wouldn't say he gave the game away, per se. Maybe the at-bat.
Right. Game being the effective term. Showed his hand.
Like a game of poker, that one's put foul. Like a game of poker, you don't play the cards, you play the individual that you're playing against. As Irvine showed a full house on that one on the 2-pair. Garcia 0 for 2. hammers that one high. It's going to go into foul territory. Coming over to try to get it is Watt, and it just eludes him. Fingertips away from that baseball.
Impressive effort by Watt, but I kind of want to turn my attention over to Garcia for effectively, not even effectively, for being a pitcher who has stepped up in this DH spot for only the third time in his baseball career. To have that much pop, that much power on a simple foul ball, promising for his prospects if he wants to stick around in this position on leaner nights like this.
Chopper over to Bateman. He'll tag the one over to first in time, and that'll turn the double play. So they go down for a 4-3 DP to end the sixth here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. It remains 1-1 between the Brantford Red Sox and the Guelph Royals here on Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Back to Royals TV here on a Saturday night under the lights here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. Brandon Deans remains on the hill here for the Guelph Royals. It is a 1-1 game, and he looked like he lobbied to get into this inning, Josh, and I think he won the argument with Dino.
I think so.
There's a swing and a miss. Well, now you're in a position, if you're Deans, you argue that, saying you want to pitch this inning, if that's indeed what the conversation was over there. You got to deliver here in this inning.
Yeah, you have quite literally talked the talk to Dino Ramel, convinced him to keep you in this one. Now you got to back it up. You got to walk the walk. Maybe not so much walks, but strikeouts per se.
Brody Black will take for strike two. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. The delivery, swing and a miss. Throw over to first, and that'll complete the strikeout. And another K on to the ledger for Brandon Deans. He's up to 9 on the night. He has struck out his last 3.
And something that's really impressed me with his game tonight, I mean, aside from the aforementioned flame throwing on the hill tonight, the aforementioned pounding of the strike zone, painting of the corners, he's quick. He leaves little time in between, as little as possible in between his pitches. Even when he's shaking off signs from Ward, he does it quickly and effectively.
That'll go in for a strike, just painting the outside edge.
Leaving very, very little time for the batters to get any read on what he's delivering. But now a chance to settle in as that one, another fastball down in the dirt. No harm, no foul though, no one on base. So just a simple 1-1 count.
Here's Jeremy VU. He grounded out back in the 5th. Deans gets the sign. Upstairs with some heat, 2-1. And that'll get by Ward off the top of the glove.
And now you start to wonder if there really is some kind of minor injury, a nagging little cramp even, eating away at Deans. We saw the mound visit by Dino Ramel and the Royals training staff earlier.
That one down the line, foul as it rolls onto the track, and about half a dozen kids go running after it. Be able to cash that one in for a freezy over at concessions. Meantime, it's a 3-2 count here on VU. Deans gets set. Right across for strike 3. Double digits for Deans. And there's 2 away here in the 7th.
And there it is again, fast and ruthless. Shook off 3 consecutive signs from Ward, then got the one that he wanted within a span of under 3-4 seconds. That's impressive. He's got such a good read on these Red Sox hitters. He is locked in up there on the hill.
That'll be ball 1. And that'll go in for strike 1. A quick update from Welland. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers have now opened up a 9-6 lead in the top of the 9th. Chopper right over to Burns. Can't field it. It goes into the outfield, and circling around first is Lucas Bateman. He gets on with a base hit.
It is a hit, but that just goes to show you how impressive Deans has been tonight when that's just the 2nd hit he's given up in tonight's contest. And we're what, about 3/4 of the way through the 7th inning? That's as good as it gets.
The runner on first for Lucas Lefebvre. Hit a double his last time up. One of just 2 hits given up here by Brandon Deans. He's having himself quite the outing. Pitch number 110 incoming. Hammered high, and it's going to go into foul territory. So I should mention it was Sadler Goodwin who hit a home run for the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers. And Yushin Oda just followed it up. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers now have a 4-run lead on the Welland Jackfish in the top of the 9th. The Jackfish losing last night against Kitchener, and they're having some struggles in the last couple of games. It's the ups and downs of the season. That one ran across for a strike.
Yeah, don't count those Barnstormers out just yet. With the Panda Seth Strong back on board, they're going to be a team to keep an eye on.
The 0-2 right across strike 3. That's 11 for Brandon Deans, and he is through 7 here at Hastings Stadium.
For Brantford, no runs.
My goodness.
We've reached that time.
Have yourself a night, young man. We talked at length about his stats coming in, and there you can see just a bit off camera getting big hugs from Dino Ramel and practically everyone else down there in the dugout. I mean, we mentioned at length his stats entering tonight's contest. A 7.77 ERA across 22 innings pitched, has given up 19 earned runs, walked 24. Not good stats at all. So for him to come out of the gates firing on all cylinders and have the night that, well, he did, that really goes a long way in getting his season back on track.
So we're into stretch time here at Hastings Stadium in Guelph. It remains a 1-1 scoreline. Don't forget the All-Star Showdown happening in Hamilton tomorrow. It'll be a great game, to say the very least. Let's take a look at those All-Stars that'll be playing in that All-Star Showdown. There you see the long list of players that are going to be playing. You see Christian Ortega for the South Side, as he's the lone starter for the Brantford Red Sox. We had mentioned Aiden Armitage and Ren Takioka, also part of the festivities on the South Side. For the North Side, you have Garrett Takamatsu as the starter. Jacob Cush is in there as a reserve. Edgar Garcia, Matthew Ward is in there too. So be a plenty of content between these two teams heading into the Hammer tomorrow. You can watch that one on the Cable 14 website. They have their live stream up. If you have CHCH, you can also watch the Home Run Derby on that one too. So the bottom of the seventh we go. Here's Ashton Patterson. Hit high into left center. Black will get underneath it. He'll make the catch.
Looks like
as Connor Irvine hits the century mark in pitches.
Yeah, it looked like Black lost it for a few seconds in the lights here at Hastings, but able to make the recovery, haul in that ball, and already one out here in the bottom of the seventh.
So here comes J.D. Williams for the fourth time today. He's 0 for 1 with a pair of walks. He's been stranded both times he's been on base. That one right on the outside edge for a strike. That one also going in for a strike. Good delivery there from Connor Irvine. It's both pitchers looking to go through 7.
Now he's shaking off a few signs from Savage. He's obviously got something in mind.
The 0-2, that one right over to Lucas Lefebvre. The hot shot right to his glove. 2 down.
Flashing the leather, barely moving his feet. As easy as it gets over there at third.
And all he can do is laugh it off as Brando LaRue will come up. A pair of singles on his ledger. That one just missing. You see Savage trying to pull that one into the strike zone, but it missed high and away. That one right over to Lefebvre, over to first in time. A 1-2-3 for Connor Irvine, and both pitchers get through 7 here at Hastings Stadium on a Saturday night as it remains 1-1 between the Brantford Red Sox and the Guelph Royals here on Royals TV.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Well, welcome back to Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here with you. It's a 1-1 scoreline heading into the 8th, and it's Nelson Mercado taking over for a great effort from Brandon Deans.
Well, if tonight's the night for redemption when it comes to pitchers with rough stat lines, Deans, Irvine, we might see something special from Mercado. Entering tonight's contest, a 7.40 ERA across 11 games, 20 innings pitched, has walked 23 and struck out 26.
That one stays in the infield, over to first in time, as Jacob Cantor goes down on the 1-3. Well, we can tell you that it was the third base coach that was thrown out, because there is a completely different third base coach over for the Brantford Red Sox.
An unfortunate series of events for Brantford, but that's what happens when you kick dirt on the home plate and raise a fuss with the umpires.
Trying to drop the bunt there was Takioka, but it goes foul.
Mercado, like Deans before him, a flamethrower, has been known to mix in sliders and curveballs when needed. Likes to stick with the heater, though.
Mercado deals. Takioka squaring up to bunt. That one just missing on the outside. Well, we have kept you up to date with the Chatham-Welland game. Top of the 9th, 10-6 Chatham-Kent. The 1-1, that one missing upstairs. The other game happening in the IBL right now, it is the Hamilton Cardinals 8, the Toronto Maple Leafs 1. So the Cardinals continue on with their ways as that one goes in for a strike. 5 runs in the 7th for the Cards, as they lead it in Christie Pitts by 7. That one in the top of the 7th inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Takioka. He's 0 for 3. Puts that one out of play.
Of course, the Maple Leafs just ahead of the Royals in the standings. Prior to last night's shenanigans, just a game and a half up on Guelph.
That one just missing under the knees. 3-2 count here on Takioka.
Once all these results get finalized, we'll see how things shake out and where the Royals and even the Red Sox end up.
Right in for strike 3. Mercado's got his first of the night.
Takioka none too pleased, still having words with Don Michel.
Right fielder, number 15.
Yeah, you can just feel his frustration from up here in the booth. Not happy with how his night has gone, not happy with the calls he received, just not too happy all around.
Well, and here's Cassidy Watt. I think all of these hitters for Brantford have been frustrated tonight. Just 2 hits on the board for them. That one missing on the outside. The double by Lefebvre in the 5th. The single in the last inning by Bateman. That's your number 8 and number 9 hitters. The 1-0 right across for a strike.
And it really speaks volumes to how well Deans performed against the Red Sox when he shut down such prominent names, such all-stars as Ortega, Takioka. That really goes a long way.
The delivery right across for a strike.
Helps build confidence, helps build momentum, especially for a guy who didn't have the best numbers entering tonight. And speaking of confidence and momentum, a 1-2 count for Mercado.
Here it comes. That one's fouled back. And again, you look at the score sheet here, and it's the top of the order that really got dinged with the strikeouts. Cantor struck out twice. Takioka struck out twice. Watt has only struck out once. Ortega, 3 strikeouts. The sombrero looming for Mr. Ortega. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. A 1-2-3-8 for Nelson Mercado as we head to the bottom of the 8th. And with the way that this pitching has been working for the Guelph Royals, you got to get a run in if you are the Royals here.
You got to help out your guys. I understand that Irvine's had a fantastic night and he's staying out there on the mound, but at some point, something has got to give.
105 pitches for Connor Irvine. He's retired 6 straight. 6 straight. So, I mean, this...
It's nothing to scoff at.
It's nothing to scoff at all. He's had their number for the most part. Just 5 hits scattered through the first 7 innings. So, I mean, if you're looking at either side, the hits, they have come at a premium. And if you have guys on board, you have to cash them in. For the Guelph Royals, they have not had a base runner stranded in the last 2 innings. They stranded 7 through the first 5 innings, including with the bases loaded in the 3rd. So there's these missed opportunities.
And that has been a little common thread tying all the Royals games together is missed opportunities, runners left on base, errors, mistakes, little slip-ups that build up over time. But, as we mentioned off the top, partner, tonight for either one of these teams, or both, can be the night when they turn things around and get momentum swinging back in their direction.
Well, they can start it off with the former MVP, Garrett Takamatsu, who is 1 for 3. Irvine deals. Chopper in the infield. Lefebvre gets it on the hop. Overthrows, and it goes out of play. Garrett's going to be awarded second. Is that what the Royals need? A runner in scoring position, nobody away.
Well, sometimes a little stroke of good luck is all it takes, and Lefebvre has been phenomenal over there at third tonight, especially in these last 2 innings, flashing the leather and getting it done, but just can't make the throw there.
Well, and it will be an error charged to Lucas Lefebvre, no doubt about that one. That was airmailed. That looked like Tom Brady trying to throw 50 yards.
And what should have been just a routine ground out, a little 5-3 action, ends up becoming a souvenir for some kid. That just isn't what the doctor ordered if you're the Red Sox. And now, runner on the base paths, a situation that the Royals have struggled with throughout this season. A chance for Liam Wilson to turn his season around and, in effect, perhaps turn the Royals' season around with just one swing of the bat.
Well, as we go back to situational hitting, with runners on base, Royals hitting .262. With runners in scoring position, they're hitting .270. So it's respectable numbers. But you want to add to them in situations like this, as that's going to be strike 1 on Liam. Hit by a pitch his last 2 times up. And if you recall, the last time he was hit by a pitch, he and Connor Irvine had a bit of a chirping session as Liam walked down to first base. Down under the knees, 1-1.
From the smile on Irvine's face, I was willing to write it off as just a little chirping, a little banter back and forth, but right now it is all business.
The 1-1 is going to hit Wilson. The third time he's been hit in this game. And Wilson will have to take first base. And now he is not happy, having words with Connor Irvine. And Irvine with his hands up saying, what? And the fans are getting on him here as well. And Wilson signaling to him as well. The umpires coming together here as well, at least two of them.
Yeah, right in there trying to keep them both separated, but
it's the way to do it. But Liam's been hit by a pitch 3 different times in this game. He has worn that baseball like a cowboy hat here tonight.
And, you know, there was...
Oh, now we're going to get a mound visit.
Yep, that's the call to the bullpen.
Yep. Someone's walking out. We're going to keep it on here and see who the new pitcher is coming in here. As you can see Connor Irvine on the mound. He was not happy giving up that baseball as he will walk by Liam Wilson. The two of them still having words. He's got to watch himself here. He cannot go back over there. As Connor Irvine gets serenaded off the field by the Hastings faithful. We'll have a new pitcher into the ball game. We'll go to a 30-second break. We'll be back after this. This is Royals TV. Welcome back to Royals TV. Well, out comes Connor Irvine to a boisterous Hastings crowd here tonight. As you can tell, Liam Wilson having words with the first base coach, still not happy about getting clunked like that. But Connor Irvine comes out, and the former Royal, Jorge De La Cruz, comes into the game for the Brantford Red Sox.
In his short time in Brantford, has been their go-to guy at the end of games or just high leverage situations. 2.45 ERA across 7 innings pitched. He's walked 5 and struck out an impressive 14. Also racking up 2 saves along the way.
Well, he'll have to take on Matthew Ward, and this is the situation for the Guelph Royals. You have a runner on first and second. There is nobody out. You haven't had a base runner really to work with in a little bit. It takes one hit into the gap to take the lead in a game where runs have come at a premium.
Score still evened up at 1 apiece. This is an opportunity served up on a silver platter for the Royals.
Ward drops down the bunt, and that's going to go foul. So just based on that alone, you have to know that the infield's probably going to play a little bit more in. knowing that that bunt is a possibility. Yes, you can see Ortega is basically in line with the pitcher.
Yeah, just about level. Lefebvre a little further back, but cautious nonetheless.
That one way inside. Ward gets out of the way.
Ducking and dodging. Manages to make his way out of the way.
You know, he went to dodgeball school.
Dodged a few wrenches in his time.
Dodged some traffic, too. See if Ward tries to drop it again. No. Throw over. No throw. And the runner is going to go to second base as well. Runners advance for the Royals.
Now, Savage isn't too pleased with that, and I think his grievance comes from the fact that Matthew Ward did not move, didn't duck, didn't try and get out of the way of the throw. A case to be made, but the ruling stands. Runners on second and third, still no outs here in the bottom of the 8th.
The 2-1. That one right on the inside for a strike.
The Royals Kingdom letting their views be known about a different pitcher.
So a pair of stolen bases here for the Royals. The 2-2. That one is flared foul. And again, 2 runners in scoring position, nobody out. You got a sac fly, the Royals are in the lead.
Sometimes the simple way is the best way. That calls back on what we've been calling on the Royals to do is simple, fundamental hitting. Just get on base, get the job done.
That one missing inside, 3-2.
However you can, whether it is a walk, whether it is a sac fly. I mean, Ward, 17 of the former category heading into tonight's contest.
By the way, final from Welland. It's 11-7. The Chatham-Kent Barnstormers defeat the Jackfish. That one's popped high. Black into shallow center field, and it's going to drop. The runner comes home, and he's safe. It gets by Andrew Savage, and everybody advances. Runners on second and third, and the Royals have a 2-1 lead.
Said it before, I'll say it again. The history books won't record how you did it, just the end result. The Royals able to break through thanks to a malfunction at the junction. A little bit of miscommunication as that one drops between the Bermuda Triangle of Black, Cantor, and Bateman.
Well, that right there should go down as a single as Wilson will advance to third. Ward gets to second base on the throw. And still nobody out, still runners at second and third, but the score line is different, and in a game like this, it is much different. That's strike one on Ethan Hammond, who is 2 for 3.
And now the Red Sox, very conservative in their defense. All 4 infielders right on top of that grass.
The 0-1, down the line, foul. Carson Burns on deck for the Royals. And again, with runners at second and third, Hammond getting a pair of singles. That one gets handcuffs Savage, but he keeps it in front of him just enough to keep the runners on. Now, as I was saying, Ethan Hammond, 2 hits in this game. First base is open, not even thinking about putting him on to try to, get force outs everywhere. De La Cruz deals. Down the line, that's a fair ball. 1 run comes in, getting the wave home is Ward. Throwing home, and he's going to slide in safely. able to handle it was Savage. He dropped it on the baseline, and it's 4-1 Royals.
Call it an error, call it happenstance, call it whatever you will. That right there is gold for the Royals. Coming up big, a royal flush of fortune, and find themselves up by 3.
And here comes another mound visit. Dela Cruz getting rocked here in the 8th. And that right there, that is a phenomenal throw from the outfield in. Savage gets the baseball, but he just fumbles the ball.
And that, we did mention Irvine having trouble with, throwing the ball in the dirt, fastballs that got away from Savage. At this point in the game, a new pitcher's on the mound. When do we turn our attention to Savage, his defensive play tonight, with the amount of stuff that he has let get by him?
Your second baseman, number 7, Carson.
So Carson Burns with a runner on second, and the Royals a 3 spot and counting here in the 8th. A 4-1 lead. Burns tried to drop down the bunt. It goes off of his bat, off of the glove, and still dropped fair, but again, made contact with the catcher. So
going back to that Hammond hit, that's exactly what the Royals need to do. Take a look. Run back the footage. See how perfectly placed Hammond put that one. Sneaking up the first baseline, well away from the runners. Textbook.
Runner's going to go. Mishandled there by Savage, and getting into third safely is Hammond. Count that as a stolen base, as Hammond was off on the pitch. And these are the games that get away from the Brantford Red Sox more often than not this season. When you look at their 22 losses this year, 11 of those 22 losses have been by 3 runs or less. 8 of them have been by 1 run. Swing and a miss for strike number 3 as Burns goes down. But that's what you look at. When you think about the last couple of seasons with the Red Sox, where they've given up a lot of lopsided scoring, this season it's anything but. They're losing still, but they're losing not by as much. They're keeping in ball games, but they're letting it get away from them. They can't get out of their own way.
I think it really goes back to what I talked about earlier, is that pressure is a two-way street. For the Royals, it's...
That'll drop foul. That's Edgar Garcia, who is 0 for 3.
As I was saying, for the Royals, it's the intensity being put in the spotlight and a close game, knowing that you need a win to continue a playoff push. Those bright lights. I mean, multiple players have shined, Ethan Hammond especially. So pressure creates diamonds, but it can also crack other ball players, and we've seen that with the Red Sox tonight. Like you mentioned, partner, getting in their own heads, and unfortunately for them, that's just been a common theme throughout their season.
Just the one away, a runner on third base. The Royals have scored 3 in this inning. Garcia swings and misses for strike 2. It's been 1-1 throughout this entire ball game. The last scoring happened in the 3rd. It was 1-0 Brantford. They took the lead in the 2nd. Guelph scored their lone run in the 3rd before getting 3 more in this inning. The 0-2 missing inside.
Garcia up at the plate, looking to collect just the 2nd hit of his career.
Puts that one high and deep. He got a charge under that one. It's going to stay in the ballpark, though, and listing over to right field is Cassidy Watt. Throwing to home, and 1 run comes in to score. Make it 5-1 Royals.
Well, it may not have been a hit, but still a landmark moment for Edgar Garcia, picking up the first ribeye of his professional baseball career and getting high fives and hugs all around in the Royals dugout. They'll definitely want to grab that baseball after the game.
So bring up Ashton Patterson as Garcia with the sac fly drives in yet another run here for the Royals. Patterson 0 for 3, takes strike 1. A batting average dipping down to just 107 on the season. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Well, you look at last year's regular season, just a .220 batting average, 3 doubles, even with his speed. Hitting isn't exactly his game.
No, it's all about that defense. He brings shutdown defense in left field anytime he is in the lineup.
And that's not to mention his speed. With the Guelph Griffins, he was nicknamed the Roadrunner for a very pertinent reason.
Foul tip. That one goes off of Savage and away from the plate. But again, Hammond just 1 error charged, or rather for Patterson, no errors charged against him all season. He's been perfect in the field. Again, another reason why you keep him around.
More than enough reason.
The 1-2 upstairs. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Patterson.
Now for the admitted lack of hits in his time with the Royals, that vision so excellent. 7 walks so far this season, and on the precipice of making it 8.
Yeah, that one missing high and up, or high and wide. So full count with 2 away. In for strike 3, painting the inside edge. But the Royals put 4 on the board in the 8th. They have taken a 5-1 lead, opening things up here on a Saturday night. To the 9th we go here from Hastings Stadium. You are watching Royals TV. Welcome back. We are live on Royals TV on a Saturday night. 9th inning, and it's Gaku Ueda coming in to pitch for the Guelph Royals, taking over for Nelson Mercado. The pitching has been the story for this Guelph Royals team. And how about that 8th inning, putting 4 on the board, just finally figuring out the offense in that inning.
able to back up the outstanding support on the mound from the Royals defense, from the pitching staff, Deans and Mercado respectively, and now it is Gaku Ueda up there on the mound. The 24-year-old enters tonight's contest with a 5.06 ERA across 16 games played. He has 21 innings pitched, has walked just 7, and is a strikeout machine with 22 so far this season.
He's got the 2 saves on his ledger. Not a save situation here as that one goes in for a strike. But ever since moving Edgar Garcia from the closer's role into more of a starting role here, he has started 4 games for the Royals this year. Ueda's really taken on that role and has kind of run with it here in this position. That one is delivered way away from the plate.
Now, I really like this move by the Royals, not just because Ueda is an outstanding relief pitcher, has been their go-to closer these last few games, but because he throws almost exclusively breaking balls, sliders, curveballs, changeups, you name it, even if they run a little inside.
Yeah, that one's a little too inside as Christian Ortega gets out of the way.
But the drastic change from back-to-back flamethrowers to a guy who only throws the technical stuff might just shake up the hitters.
That one goes right through the jersey, and Ortega will take first base. More importantly, though, he avoids the golden sombrero and gets on base for the first time tonight.
It's got to be a nice little feather in his cap, especially heading down to Bernie Arbor Stadium tomorrow as a starter in the IBL All-Star Game.
Yes, again, get your tickets now, folks. Home Run Derby kicks off at around 5:10. I believe our friend Neil and I believe Alec Murray from Welland is also going to be part of that call. Just for the Home Run Derby. Reed Duffy will be on the call for the game itself along with Neil. I'll have a couple of surprise guests. Well, I shouldn't say it's a surprise. One of them is me. That one's fouled right off the facing of the grandstand. And it's an 0-1 count here on Savage. And if you can't make it to Bernie Arbor Stadium, you can tune in on cable14.com. Same link you would use for Hamilton Cardinals home games. Upstairs. And if you have CHCH, you can tune into the Home Run Derby as well. But still a couple of tickets remaining. You can head down to the Hammer, HamiltonCardinals.com, to get your tickets there. So your favorite IBL players in action. The 1-1. In for a strike. Who you got for the Home Run Derby, by the way?
I'm not necessarily going to pick a winner, but I'm going to call a finals
Oh,
between Duncan and Salazzo.
Okay.
And let those two Titans slug it off.
The 1-2. That one is going to be fouled away. Well, Duncan is the defending champion. Well, I don't know. I think Robert Mullen might give Salazzo a run for his money.
You think so?
On that right side of the bracket. Yosuke Fuji, I think he's pretty underrated in that 7th seed. Although Robert Mullen is Robert Mullen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Miss. No, he got him. Inside edge. A delayed call there from the home plate umpire. Got him. And there's 1 away. Of course, Eduardo De Olio and Grayson Barrett on the left side. Christian Ortega taking on Tyler Duncan. So Ortega on first as he gets ready to slug it out with a former MVP tomorrow. In for strike one. Worked it a little bit more inside that time, did Ueda.
And that's something that he's loved to do, regardless of which side the hitter is hitting from. He always goes inside, even if he is running a breaking ball.
That one just missing on the outside.
Likes to throw in a little chaser pitch every now and then. Keep hitters on their toes, but that coup de grace, that finishing blow, almost exclusively comes inside.
1 ball, 1 strike. Chopper off the foot. And Brody Black will have to shake one off. He's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Taking a second to readjust the shin guards. And the umpire and Ward both doing him a solid. Dustin off home plate and Ward walking the ball out to the mound.
Team effort.
Team effort.
Well, again, the Royals, after tonight's game, as mentioned, tomorrow's the All-Star game. Royals will be back in action on Tuesday with the Barrie Baycats in town, 7:30 first pitch. I'll be there for that one. Rare Tuesday, I actually get to be here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fans get loud. Missing upstairs. It ran a little bit in there on Black as well. Fans stomping their feet, full throat. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The offering from Ueda. Fouled back yet again, wasting the pitch.
And credit where credit is due. A nice breezy summer night brings the fans out to the stands here at Hastings, and they have been loud from first pitch to, well, now closing in on final pitch. Rallying behind Ueda once again.
Once again, here comes the 2-2. Into the dirt, gets away from Ward, and advancing over to second is Ortega, and that is crucial because that takes away the double play.
Almost certainly what Ueda was looking for the last few pitches have gone. It's almost like he's looking to get it onto the bat. Trying to do some contact, get the double play, but have to change up the plans here.
The 3-2. In on the hands, and that'll go out of play. As Ueda takes it away from Black's wheelhouse there, right away from the barrel of the bat.
Royals with a traditional defensive setup, not trying any tricks here.
Another chance with the 3-2 upcoming here to Black. Pops that one up. Wilson in foul territory, makes the catch. Throw over to third, keeping Ortega on second base, and just like that, there's 2 away. Down to the final outs. Jeremy Viu, the last chance here for the Red Sox.
The designated hitter, number 12, Jeremy Viu.
Viu enters tonight's contest. 5 runs scored on the season, 6 ribeyes as well. Very patient at the plate, picking up 10 walks on his season. Would take just about any one of those stats on his ledger here tonight.
That one runs upstairs. It's VU. Doesn't have an official hit on his ledger here tonight. The 1-0. That one gets away. Good grab there by Ward. Flashing the leather.
So impressive defensively is Ward. Has saved many a Royals pitcher when the odd ball escapes down in the dirt. Credit where credit is due.
The 2-0. Hammered high. It's going deep. Back, and caught on the warning track by J.D. Williams to end the ball game. The Royals score 4 in the 8th, and Gaku Ueda shuts it down in the 9th. And the Royals have snapped their 5-game losing skid and take this one by a score of 5-1. Barry now has officially clinched a playoff spot with the Brantford loss as the Guelph Royals improved to 12-18 on the season. They move a full game up on the Kitchener Panthers, while the Brantford Red Sox, they fall to 6-23 in yet another game where it was decided by 4 runs. But it's another one of those otherwise very close games that got away from the Brantford Red Sox.
I mean, right up, well, frankly, right up until it wasn't, it was an absolute pitcher's duel. Irvine, Deans, both entering tonight with rough stat lines, numbers that don't look so good on paper, but two guys with something to prove, trying to turn their seasons around and their respective teams' seasons around with their performances tonight. And it's safe to say that while Dean's won out, Irvine starting to make a comeback, starting to turn things around. And despite the loss tonight, Red Sox now 6-22 on the season, a night to be proud of. Dean's carrying the load for the Royals, coming in clutch, even after giving up that early run. And partner, do you think this increases his chances of getting more starts down the line?
Well, I think this is just by necessity coming in, because when you look at that pitching, you look at the rotation. You know, you've brought in Edgar Garcia to, you know, be a closer, but now you've worked him into a starter's role. You have Jacob Cush. You have Claudio Custodio coming. You know, there is a lot of options that you can work with, and sure, you can work with him in a pinch in Brandon Deans, but I think you want to see him more in a shutdown role. I mean, Chris Lazar comes in as a bullpen option as well, so if you need a fourth starter, you know, Brandon Deans is a great option to have, especially if he pitches like he pitched here tonight. But I think, especially in a series, when you go into the playoffs, you're probably going to work with the 3-man rotation, especially with the way that the games are spaced out in terms of the amount of days you have in between starts. I think if Claudio has his stuff, you're going to probably have Claudio as your ace. You know, and that's no disrespect to the defending pitcher of the year in Jacob Cush. You know, you have the two of them. You can try to figure out, okay, who's hotter at the right time. That guy, you work the rotation around to have them start in game 1 of the postseason. Oh, and then you have a guy, again, Custodio, you go Cush, and then you can go in Edgar Garcia, who is making himself look like a really good, valuable starter. And there's a lot of things that are unknown here as well, namely the fact that Franklin Torres is expected back, and you already have 5 imports on the roster. Which one of the 5 that are on the roster right now has to go by the wayside in order to bring in a Franklin Torres behind the plate? You know, there's so much unknown right now that this Guelph Royals team, you know, there's going to be a lot of work that Ryan Eakin and our friend Adam Fanjoy have to work with here with Dino Ramel, the field manager, to figure out how do you balance it out and get the best roster possible at the right time of the season. We'll find that out in the next few weeks, to say the very least. But for now, we're going to shut it down here from Hastings Stadium in Guelph. The Guelph Royals snap a 5-game losing skid with a 5-1 victory over the Brantford Red Sox. For my partner, Josh Alderman, I'm Mark Pare. Thank you so much for joining us, for everybody putting us on the air here on Royals TV. We say good night here from Hastings Stadium, and we will see you back here at the next home game, which is coming up on Tuesday against the Barrie Bay Cats. So long, everybody.